You're listening to RAWF After Hours on the RAWF Radio Network.
Stepping up the ring and onto the mic. Golden locks, throwing chains on tight. I rule the airwaves, I own the night. Crank up the volume, feel the heat down. Turn up the dial, let me preach. Running this town with a steel cage smile. When the bell rings, I do it with style. I'm the Lord of Saturday night. One hair thunder, taking the mic. Bodies tell the truth, no fear, no fight. Bow down, cause I rule tonight. Taking the mic, bodies said the truth, no fear, no fright. Bow down, cause I rule tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to RAWF After Hours on the RAWF Radio Network. I am your host, the owner of RAWF. In the game we all know and love as Wrestler Unstoppable, I am Lord Amadeus. Back this week, ladies and gentlemen, is my co-host. Please welcome back.
¡Hola, muchachos!
Ladies and gentlemen, say hola to the one and only El Vacant. Good evening, El Vacant.
Hola, muchachos. ¿Cómo está, mi amigo?
So where were you last week?
Oh, you were in Cincinnati. No self-respecting Mexican will ever go to Cincinnati.
Why is that?
Because of the crimes they commit with Chile. Crimes.
Crimes. Crimes? What? Wait, I didn't even know you liked chili.
Chili con carne come from Mexico.
Oh, fair enough. All right, well, that's not crimes. It's great. You never had sky. You should try it sometime. Just try it. Once in your life, you should try it. I'm just saying.
Why do you think it's called Cincinnati?
that's
crimes
not
against
why.
Mexican food.
That is definitely not why. All right, let's get this show started. We will start with some event and GM reports. All right, so where to start? Let's first of all bring in our Ultimate Gauntlet GM, the Paragon of Greatness, really quick. Paragon?
We've got a lot of updates here in the Ultimate Gauntlet. It has been a while since I've updated Way back the last time that we updated it was that Sassy Applebee's had run the gauntlet. She was unable to capture the championship. So we started things up again with Tiggs versus Hot Cheese. Tiggs was able to win that match, going on to her second match with Big Papa, also succeeding in that match, going into a third match with Mrs. B, and Miss B defeats Tiggs, ending that run at 3. Miss B would go on to fight the Celtic Nightmare Soul Reaper, defeating him, going on to a second match with the Mancunian Maniac, also defeating Mancunian Maniac. Miss B is now at 3, goes up against Toxic Megatron Avenger, who shuts that run down at 3. Toxic Megatron Avenger goes into business here against Dr. Kent. Dr. Kent defeats Toxic Megatron Avenger. Dr. Kent goes on to face Billy Gunn and eliminates Billy Gunn from the Ultimate Gauntlet. Dr. Kent then goes on to fight the Immortal Griffith, is able to win this match via pinfall. Dr. Kent wins this match, goes on to a fourth match rather, with Lady Vex. Lady Vex ends the run of Dr. Kent at 3. Lady Vex currently in her second match in the Ultimate Gauntlet against DW.
All right. Thank you, Paragon. We'll talk to you extensively here in just a little bit. Next up, I have your tag team report from Unstoppable. The top 5 tag teams after 4 of 6 rounds. In first place, you have Crown Control. In second place is Kicks and Giggles. In third place, I believe that is Absolutely Fabulous. I think that one's kind of a hard of a. Okay, tied and 2 teams tied for 4th place. Dork Mates for Life and Hotness Overload. So that's your tag team report. Plus, tag teams are now open for signups. Signups will close for the next season of tags. Signups will close next Sunday, May 18th, after the pay-per-view. Then we have a Radical Rumble report. And right now, we are waiting on one rematch from the first round. Right now, already moving on to round 2 of the Radical Rumble, you will have Magnificent Michael versus Joe Boo versus Simply the Best. You will have Griffith, the Immortal One, versus Spectacular versus the winner of the current rematch still ongoing, which will either be M. Ace, the Hawkster, or Chris Cage. The other 2 second round matchups, Redneck Avenger versus Sean Hitman Hurd versus Dick DVT. And the final one, Vex versus Blake Bradley versus Cero El Napolitano. So we are just waiting on one rematch before they move on to the second round of the Radical Rumble. All right. Next up, let's go check in with our RFC General Manager, Radical Fighting Championship, the Immortal Griffith. Griffith, are you there?
I am, sir. I am. So, we announced a couple weeks ago that we were reopening the RFC for the new season. I just wanted to let everyone know that we have all our contestants. All the first pairings have been made, and the matches will start, possibly as early as this evening, most likely tomorrow. I do want to say this, however, my feelings about our current RFC champion aside, I have nothing but respect for what I'm about to say. This man has had this title since he's the only person to ever have this title. He has defended it several times, and he is so game. He is such a champion and wants to prove that he's a fighting champion that he himself has put a 10 million coin bounty on his own head. That's right. If anyone manages to win this season and take the belt from him, not only do they get the prize for the season, not only do they get the title, but they take 10 million coins off of Simply the Best himself.
Wow. Holy
that is
cow.
a cocky man, and I am here for it.
Wow. SCB has always been a very confident person, but that's a little bit much. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, not only are you guys, but whoever still in the RFC, you're going to be fighting not just for an opportunity at the at the championship, you'll also be fighting for 10 million coins. Wow. All right. Anything to add, Griff?
No, I think we're good.
All right. I do believe that does cover all of our GM reports for this evening.
I mean, unless you want to know what the initial pairings are, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
sure, why not? All right, so round one will be Chosen versus Michael Brewer, Mark Caliber versus Billy Gunn, Natalia Nitro versus Hot Shot Chaz, the one and only Carnage King versus Chris Cage, Ken Costa versus Blake Bradley, Dees versus Enigma, Des Bryant versus the Marquis de Sade, the Crazy Serb versus Nightwish, one of your own there, LA, RA versus Hot Cheese, and last but not least, Money Sue versus Miss Beauty Fatale.
All right. Those are your first round matchups for the RFC event this time. Thank you, Griff, and we'll talk to you in just a little bit as well. All right. With that all being said, let's take a look at some of the events going on around RAWF, some of the tournaments. First of all, as I mentioned last week, both the Hatfield and McCoy Championship tournaments finished. The winners of those tournaments were the Paragon of Greatness and Tigress. And last week on Superstars, they squared off on a number one contender match to see who will face Chris Cage for the Hatfield and McCoy Championship. The winner was the Paragon of Greatness. More on that in a little bit. So congratulations to Paragon, who will be getting an opportunity at that Hatfield McCoy Championship at Radiversary next week. Let's take a look at the Arsehole and Biatches of the month. Arsehole is down to the final match. Right now it is DVT versus Rick Nelson to see who will go on to face Blake Bradley at Radiversary. And right now, that match is back and forth. It's, right now, DVT with a bit of an advantage. Can he hold on to get himself an opportunity at that men's championship? We find out here, hopefully, by the end of the week. And then the biatch of the month is down to the final match as well. Right now, it is the reigning estrogen champion, Sai, taking on former multi-time estrogen champion Tigress in the finals of the biatch of the month. If Sai wins, she gets to choose her opponent at Radiversary. If not, Tigress has an opportunity to go in and add to her multiple times, maybe even, I believe, tying the record with Cougs and Davila for most times fighting for, or most times winning the estrogen championship. But to be honest, of looking at the match, Sai has an incredible advantage, and there's a good chance that Sai will be choosing her opponent at Radiversary herself. And let me see here. Extra points tournament should be getting down to the nitty gritty as well, if not over. Right now, we're in the finals of that one too. Right now, the two finalists for the extra points tournament this month are Sassy Applebee's and Blake Bradley. One of those two will get an extra 25 points in their rankings. And right now, Sassy's got a bit of a disadvantage, but it could be easily turned around. Still, both of them with plenty of health there. All right, and then the big one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me grab my graphic here. This year's Zanthur, the Platinum Dragon Memorial Tournament's getting down to the nitty gritty as well. Let's take a look at where we stand. There it is. We are in round 3. However, all matches in round 3 are done except one. So this is what the round 4 is going to look like. Buckshot will take on Big Papa. Joe Boo will take on M. Ace. Prince will take on the Paragon of Greatness. the 2-time straight winner of the Zanthur the Platinum Dragon Memorial Tournament, is still in. She will take on Sassy Applebee's will take on DW in the next round. Juan Solo and Tremaris to the Bone are the sole third round match. One of them will face the Undertaker in the next round. Chris Cage will take on Maeve O'Hare. Sean Hitman Hurd will take on Miss Beautifatal. And Simply the Best will take on Mr. Millionaire. And of course, that round will then, once they get to round 4, El Vacant, then they'll be fighting to get into the money rounds, the quarterfinals, when you can start actually gaining some coinage, getting some prizes out of this. So, yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. We'll see how long it takes. It usually takes what, 2-3 months.
It's taken longer than that, but yeah.
Yeah. But all right, so that's where we stand there. All right, so last week on Superstars, I mentioned the Paragon of Greatness beat Tigress, and he will face Chris Cage at Radiversary. Also, the Cougar, the First Lady of Anarchy, the Cougar, after losing the title the previous week to Wildfire, regained the title from Wildfire, and just a weird quirk of how the rankings worked this period. She got an immediate rematch and defeated Wildfire, ending Wildfire's reign at just 1 week. But now...
Called it.
You did? Wait a minute. No, you didn't. You weren't here to call it.
I tried.
You caught me on that one.
I called it from home.
Sure you did. Sure you did. At any rate, so what happened there is, like I said, Wildfire a 1 week reign. However, Wildfire did make herself a 2-time Superstars champion. The Cougar, Cougs, made herself a 3-time Superstars champion by winning the title back. But that will not happen this week, where they square off for a third consecutive week. Tomorrow, here live from the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, let's take a look at what we've got on tap. And of course, Columbus, one of my favorite towns, as you know, because it's the home of my national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. So, there's me at Ohio Stadium. Don't I look great? Doesn't Ohio Stadium look great? All right. Next up, what do we have? I believe we have the no disqualification match between the Soul Reaper and Olivia McInnes will happen tomorrow on Superstars. We also have... Wait for it. The match 4 of the Best of 5 series between Kenta and Des Bryan. And I forgot to go look to see who won last week's. One of them will be up 2-1. Tomorrow's match will either be a win for if whoever won last week wins tomorrow, then there will be no there will be no 5th match at Radiversary. If it's tied up, then there will be a match at Radiversary. And then finally, for the Superstars Championship in the main event, it will be the First Lady of Anarchy, the Cougar, defending that title against Spectacular. So there is that. For the rest of tomorrow's Superstars, El Vacant, who do we turn to?
He's my amigo. I haven't talked to him in ages. Come on, bring him in. Come on, bring in my boy. There it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Randolph Mortimer Draw, a.k.a. Randy M. Draw, is here. Good evening, Randy. Hey, what's it going? El Bacon, where you been, buddy? I missed you.
I've been in Cincinnati like the plague. Where have you been?
Actually, I can't say I missed you that much because, the co-host who sat in for you is a bit prettier than you are. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so but yeah. At any rate, good to see you. How you doing? And I kind of like the chili from Skyline. You really should give it a shot. Oh God, yeah, like he's going to listen to the guy who drinks Mad Dog 2020. You
He
think
makes
that's
a valid point.
you think? I'm sorry. I don't think it's good. Okay, fine, whatever. And anyhow, here's what we got tomorrow on Superstars. Your undercard. We got Hotshot Chaz taking on the Crippler. You got Redneck Avenger taking on Psycho Girl. Dark Warrior versus Ken Costa. Dr. Kent versus Destroyer. DW Diesel Warrior versus Uber Vegan TPO. Billy Gunn versus Michael Brewer. Hobo Ezekiel taking on Magnificent Michael. The Minion takes on Chris Cage. Tigress takes on Andy Price. Davila takes on John the Revelator. Malice takes on Evan Deadly. Vex takes on Rick Nelson. Sophia McFadden takes on Alec Remington. Money Suit takes on Alexei Smirnoff or Smirno, whichever. Hot Cheese versus Mystic Maniac. Big Papa takes on the Agent of Hate. Crazy Mama to take on Carnage King. Ciro El Napolitano takes on Kayla the Governess. Blake Bradley takes on Blue Zone Warrior Queen Falcon. Undertaker takes on The Moves. Simply the Best to take on Cara DeVille. Stormtrooper of Death takes on Sean Hitman Hurd. Denzel the Giant, the returning Denzel, takes on Wildfire. Joe Boo takes on Teflon Sheik. Killer Neptune takes on Natalia Nitro. Kitty Kabam to take on Knox Boogie. Eva will take on Sassy Applebee's. Joey A to take on Honey Thunder Apples. Nightcrawler takes on Crazy Serve. Mark Caliber takes on Strangleheart. Scythe takes on Des Bryant. The Razor takes on Chosen. Slashy takes on Marquis de Sade. Toxic Megatron Avenger takes on Goddess of Pain. Boney takes on the Immortal Griffith. Addiction takes on Johnny Mayhem. Paragon of Greatness takes on Miss Beautifatal. Tad Beaglewolf Dennis to take on Maeve O'Hare. DVT takes on Papa Shaker. Angel Bitch takes on Black Lilith. Seabill takes on Aaron McFadden. Mancudian Maniac takes on Christopher Price. Starlight takes on Sisulu. Bruiser Omega takes on Roger the Pirate. Kenta takes on Ali Knight. And finally, D's to take on the Extreme Enigma. That's your undercard for tomorrow's Superstars. And I think I'm going to. I got some leftover chili I'm going to go eat. You sure you don't want to try some of this?
I am absolutely positive.
I mean, it's great stuff. I'm telling you. I'd never had it before we came to Cincinnati. And I'm telling you, it's pretty good. All right, well, fine. You're missing out then.
I don't think I am. I'll tell you what, you try that next week. I'll bring some of my abuela's chili, and you can see what real chili is like.
I'm afraid, because if I know you
I'll
Mexican...
have her make it gringo style.
All right. Wait, what does that mean?
Lest it won't melt your face.
Okay, because gringo, I don't like that word. That's a word. At any rate, I'll see you all next week, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you, Randolph Mortimer Draw. All right, now we get to the big one. Next week, Radiversary. We've got Hall of Fame inductions. We've got big, huge matchups. It is going to be one hell of a week for the 12th anniversary of RAWF. Let's take a look at what we got. And of course, it comes to you live May 18th from the Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. We've got a boxing match between Soul Reaper and the Paragon of Greatness all weekend. And of course, Soul Reaper has been on the past few weeks just talking about this matchup. What are your thoughts? Because so the rules are you can only use moves that require your hands, like punches and chops and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on Soul Reaper even challenging the Paragon?
Honestly, I think this is his best chance of being able to beat him.
I mean, yeah, I could. Now that you say it like that, you may have a point.
Paragon is a ring technician. He's not known as a striker.
This is true.
I think this is honestly smart on his part.
I suppose I could get behind that. I can get behind that. I see what you're talking about. All right. But we will see. That goes down next week. One of Paragon's many matches here. Next up, we have the End Starts Here match between Allie Knight and Wildfire. And as you can see in that picture, Allie's kind of got on she thinks she's the Wicked Witch of the West from Oz.
I was going to say, is she defying gravity?
Yeah, exactly. And Wildfire playing the part of Dorothy, but she doesn't look exactly anything like Dorothy in that picture.
Look, she can follow my golden brick road whenever she wants, okay?
But yes, those two will square off in the battle for Oz, apparently. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it makes for an interesting story.
Up the M, it's a twister.
All right. Also, we have for the Champions Choice Championship, Aaron McFadden to defend against the Mancunian Maniac.
I like that. That's going to be a good match. Do we know what the stipulations are?
I do, but I have to go look them up, and I don't have that ability at the moment. But yeah, it basically the stips are loaded against Mancunian Maniac.
Well, sure. That's how it works.
Yeah, I believe if I remember correctly, there are only certain moves Mank will be allowed to use. So, all right. Next up, for the Hatfield and McCoy Championship, these two know each other well. This is another one of Paragon's greatest rivals, and of course his bestie, as he likes to call him, Chris Cage, defend the Hatfield McCoy Championship against the Paragon of Greatness. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's going to be a hell of a match. I don't know how to call it. I will say this, though. This new face makeup that Chris has been wearing lately, I just keep waiting for him to be like, I like turtles.
I don't know what that means.
Wait, you don't know an internet meme that's been around forever? The little kid on the news, they're trying to ask him a question, and he just goes, I like turtles.
No, I'm afraid I've never seen that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's hilarious.
All right. Then, who do you think's going to win this match?
Wait, are we? You switch screens? Are we still talking about the other one?
We're still talking about Hatfield McCoy. We'll talk about this next one here in a second.
I mean, how do I not go with the world champion? But Chris defies odds on the regular basis, so I don't know. This is tough.
Chris Cage,
Hatfield McCoy, he has a thing for these oddball belts.
Yes, he does, and Chris Cage coming off a big win over Griffith at Immortal. So when he's starting to prove that he can compete with the top guys when he's really motivated, and I have a feeling he's going to be pretty motivated. So I think this might be a 50-50 prospect. I think it might be right down the middle. All right, Powerball Championship. Nightcrawler defends against Sassy Applebee's, a former Powerball Championship. Nightcrawler Nightcrawler says if Sassy beats her, he's going to give her a lot. He's doing kind of what the STB did, only 10 times that. He's putting up 100 million coins if Sassy beats him for the Powerball Championship.
I mean, that's going to dig into his retirement.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, he does say if he retains the Powerball Championship, he will at least stick around to defend that at Philadelphia Freedom in July. So he will defend it until he loses it.
See, now I feel like I have to root for him.
Yeah, right. He is, and of course, he being one of the ones inducted into the RAWF Hall of Fame next week. But I digress. We'll get to all that in just a moment. Next up.
No, you were good. There you go. Back.
What? Oh, stop. Let's go back. Where are we at?
You're way ahead now.
It's
You
this
skipped
thing.
2 matches. Okay, one more forward. One more. That's Powerball.
Just give me a sec. We're on Powerball. All right.
Now there's multimedia. Stop.
Did it stop?
Yeah, it appears to have, yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Sometimes this slideshow a little funky. Anyways, the multimedia champion Extreme Enigma to defend against Dr. Kent.
All right, for the record, first let's start with the obvious tight stuffing going on over here. My God. Jesus. The doctor is in something.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, by the way, no rankings tonight, folks. They will return next week. But at any rate, multimedia championship, and yeah, Dr. Kent, who do you think's going to walk out? Will it be Enigma?
You know what? If you'd asked me this about this matchup 6 months ago, I would have said Dr. Kent all day long. Enigma's impressed the hell out of me since they've won this title. I think they're going to hold on to it.
They might. I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. And by the way, that reminds me, there was one other result I wanted to mention from Superstars last week, and that was that Seabell successfully defended the Triple Crown Championship against Maeve and Enigma. So Sai will be going to Radiversary as Triple Crown Champion, and thus will be defending that title.
Oh, back one. There you go.
We're there?
Yep.
All right. You got you have Sai defending against Dees and Ken Costa. Dees, of course, one of the most decorated champions, and I believe he's a former Triple Crown champion. Let's take a look. I'm
I believe you're correct.
I'm 90. Yes, at least once. Looks like just once though. But Sai retained the title against Enigma and Maeve. So,
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but correct me if I am. But she retained with the champion's advantage loophole, did she not?
She did.
Yeah, that's going to come into play in my calling of this match.
You think so? You think Sai retains due to another tie?
No,
like, okay.
I think that this is a harder match than the last one. No offense to the people in it. I just think Dees has had this belt before. I think Dees is going to be Sai's problem here, and I think Dees walks out with the belt.
Of course, Ken Costa coming off an incredible victory over the Paragon of Greatness at Immortal. So
that is true.
He's got some momentum. So we will see. It should be a very interesting to see what happens there. Next up, in what I call a pretty big mismatch for the Fubar City Championship. However, it could maybe Kara surprises us here. The Immortal Griffith defends against Cara DeVille, the Fubar City Championship. Your thoughts?
Normally I'd agree with you. This, that's ridiculous. Like, this is not going to be good for Cara. But you know what? They earned the shot. They got themselves there. So obviously that's where they should be, right? Like, you don't get this shot by sucking. So I'm still going to call Griffith the win. We've seen what he's willing to do to someone he really likes to keep that belt. What's he going to do to someone he doesn't care about?
Fair enough. I mean, Kara has definitely got an uphill battle if she wants to win the Fubar City Championship. Next up, Midnight Hobo Championship. Destroyer defending against Billy Gunn. Your thoughts?
I think Billy's in it for a world of pain.
I don't disagree. Do not disagree with that. I think Destroyer right now has found her groove in RAWF, and I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of big things out of her in the coming months here in RAWF, including retaining the Midnight Hobo Championship against Billy Gunn. I cannot disagree with that at all. Next up, this one's going to be a good one for the national championship.
Back when.
Oh,
There you go.
all right. Are we good? All right. National Championship, STB, Simply the Best, defends against DVT. Now, DVT, kind of like Destroyer, has come into RAWF and just has flourished. He has absolutely flourished. And this is his biggest test to date, but, we don't know what he's capable of against the big boys. We find out at Radiversary. What are your thoughts?
I got to go with STB on this. Every time I call against him, he just proves me wrong. So I'm just gonna own it and just pick pick STB. Every time I pick against Simply the Best, I'm just wrong.
All right. I have a feeling that it might be DVT's night. I have a feeling that maybe it's I'm
All right, look, it's your turn to pick against STB and be wrong. That's fine.
we'll go with that. So yeah, that's what we're looking at Radiversary, STB versus DVT. A lot of letters. We're playing Scrabble with this one. All right, next up.
STB, DVT, FIGKY. I don't know.
At any rate, we have a rematch from Immortal for the Platinum Dragon Championship. DW will defend that title against the man she beat for it. And Killer Neptune, of course, the most decorated Platinum Dragon champion in RAWF history, looking to go for it for an 8th time. It will be his, if he beats DW at Radiversary, it will be his 8th reign as Platinum, 7th reign as Platinum Dragon champion. Your thoughts?
I look, I didn't think he was going to lose it. I think he's going to take it back. I think he's going to do exactly what he did the last time he lost it and turn around and take it right back.
Could very well happen. I kind of have to agree. Nothing against DW, but I think she may have been able to take advantage of the fact that Killer Neptune was also in the main event of Immortal against his brother, the Paragon of Greatness.
I mean, perhaps his head might not have been in the right place.
So I'm guessing that is the story there. And finally, in the main event.
Oh boy.
This is going to be interesting, to say the least. The Paragon of Greatness will defend against Elvolter herself, Eva.
We mentioned I really like fishnets.
This is the very first time Eva getting an opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship. And this is going to be a good one, I have a feeling. Paragon, of course, coming off the huge victory over his brother at Immortal, who retained the championship. But I'm not sure this is the kind of opponent he was hoping for to follow
I can
that
almost
up.
guarantee it's not. Look, there are very few people I've ever seen that bother Paragon. And Eva straight up creeps him out. Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's got to face her in the ring for his title.
I mean, it was going to happen eventually, where she gets an opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship. It was inevitable. I'm actually surprised that it hadn't happened before now. But this is going to get interesting. I think this main event is something I'm very much looking forward to. Can Eva win the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time? We find out at Radiversary.
If she does, will she be the first RAWF World Champion in fishnets? Look, these are important questions. You should know these things.
Well, if you don't count Strangleheart.
Maeve says no. And I believe that Maeve would pay attention to things like fishnets.
Wait, did Mithras ever wear fishnets? I don't remember. Never mind.
I no, and I'm not going to tell him you said
I don't know why I had to go there.
I wouldn't put it past Griffith to have worn them, but never in the ring. Like I could see him, like in the mid '90s, been hanging out in goth clubs, wearing the fishnet shirt thing. I could see that.
Yeah,
He wears guy liner.
But at any rate, that is your main event at Radiversary, and it's gonna be a good one. The Paragon of Greatness and Eva. So, and of course, next week, also, ladies and gentlemen, it will be Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Look, go back. Starting with these, this is you're going to be your class. The first one, of course, Nightcrawler, being inducted into the RAWF Hall of Fame. Former world heavyweight champion, amongst other things, and it could possibly be his last matches at Radiversary. In he's facing Strangleheart, and he will be defending the Powerball Championship against Sassy Applebee's. Next up, the longest tenured GM in RAWF has been with us since day one, and that's PG Psycho Girl. One of my favorite GMs, I have to say. No offense to all my other GMs, but PG always have a place in my
None of the
heart.
other GMs walk around with that little bit of clothing.
Well, that's true, but at any rate, had nothing to do with it. Next up, we have.
You skipped.
Up,
Go back one.
It's.
You can do it. I have faith in you.
Did it jump?
There you go.
All right. Where we need to be. All right. The late, great Shell Kneebreaker, a very huge part of the early days of RAWF, GM extraordinaire, as well as being pretty tough in the ring herself. So, R.I.P. Shell. She gets inducted posthumously next week at Radiversary. And then, of course, the first ever RAWF World Heavyweight Champion.
You did it again.
It jumped.
There you go.
Are we good?
Yep.
Starry will be inducted into the RAWF Hall of Fame. First ever RAWF Heavyweight Champion, multi-time tag team champions with her partner Pebs. And of course, was also a GM in the early days of RAWF.
And best knee socks in the history of wrestling.
Well, there is no doubt. There is no doubt. It's still.
There you go. Stop. Hammer time.
Tank Girl, the late great Tank Girl, former world heavyweight champion, one of the greatest characters in WU, period. Brewer says Starry's biggest achievement was marrying him. Well, that might be true, but that's not why she's getting in this Hall of Fame.
I suspect that was more his biggest achievement.
You might be right. Tank Girl will also be inducted posthumously into the RAWF Hall of Fame, and so yeah, Tank Girl, wherever you are, we miss you. But you will be inducted next week into the RAWF Hall of Fame. And last but not least, Hotshot Chaz will take his place.
You skipped.
No, I didn't skip nothing.
It started over.
Yes.
There you go. You're good.
Anyways, Hotshot Chaz will join this class of the RAWF Hall of Fame, and of course he's working on, like I said, his 19th straight, or 20, might even be 20 at this point, in the RAWF Top 25. I was informed this last week, though, that he does not hold the record for most Top 25s, or maybe not even the longest streak, because when I went back and looked, STB indeed has probably the longest streak in RAWF.
Even over Mithras?
Well, Mithras, I would have to go back.
Should have been pretty good.
That one would be pretty. That might be pretty close too. I'll have to check on that.
Because I mean, I know he has the longest streaks for the most times number one in a row.
Yo, that he does. Yes, that he most definitely does. But At any rate, Chaz is still well deserving of the RAWF Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
So that is
Look,
your Hall.
if the argument is oh wait, does he or does he not have a higher number than Mithras or STB? I think that's okay. Right?
Yeah.
That's some rarefied air to being discussed with.
And yes, Brewer, PowerPoint is definitely kicking my ass tonight. At any rate, though, that is your RAWF 2025 class of the Hall of Fame that will be inducted next weekend. It will be a weekend-long thing. I have not heard from Psycho Girl who she's being inducted by. I will be inducting. Me and Cougs will be inducting Shell, as well as I believe I am inducting PG. And
I mean, I think I should be inducting Chaz. Nobody says his name as well as I do.
Well, you can duke it out with Mithras to see who will be.
No, that's fair. They got the same name.
And I assume Cougs will be inducting Nightcrawler, although that hasn't been official yet, but I do believe that is the case.
I mean, seems reasonable.
And Hobo Ezekiel will be inducting Tank Girl. I will also be inducting Starry. So on what days those will be, I haven't worked out just yet, but I'll have it figured out for y'all next week, I promise. All right, but speaking of the Hall of Fame, we're going to take a quick song break. Elvakin, I think you're going to be pleased about the song because it represents an RAWF Hall of Famer in his own right. Not somebody we've seen for a while, but somebody I'm pretty sure you will all remember and get a kick out of. We'll be right back. This is RAWF After Hours on the RAWF Radio Network.
Yes, bitch. Ooh, this is my song. I'm about to do it for the Yeti, bitch.
For the
Better
Yeti.
fuck that
Oh, God.
shit.
For the Yeti. Oh, God. She gon' buzz it for the Yeti. Oh, God. She gon' buzz it for the Yeti. Now do it for the Yeti. Do it for the. Do it. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. She about to buzz it for the Yeti. She about to buzz it for the Yeti. It's time. She about to buzz it for the Yeti. It's time. She about to buzz it for the Yeti. Do it for the. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. Oh God. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. Oh God. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. Oh yeah. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. Oh God. Yeti. She gon' buzz it for the Yeti. She gon' do it for the Yeti. Hold up. Do it for the skinny girl. Do it for the. Do it for the skinny girl. Do it for the. Do it for the. Do it for the skinny girl. Do it for the. Do it for the. Do it for the skinny girl. Do it for the skinny girl.
I see the motherfucking titties on the Yeti. Okay, nipple rings, I don't think they ready. Getting ready with a passion. No waiting, no relaxing, I'm asking. Baby, don't crab like Sebastian, I'm laughing. That ass in the class that she passing. That ass in my class that my ass never absent. Mackin', they say my dog fresh, make it happen. At a bed, lose the panties, subtraction. On the Yeti with Charlie and Beamer. She wanna ride the wind, I just look at her demeanor. Damn, who the fuck is that? She a teaser. Do she live in the city, nigga? I ain't never seen her. Yeah, I like it when they bust it wide open. For real. But I love it when I'm deep inside stroking. I'm scrolling, trying to find where the hoes at. You might see him on the Yeti, nigga, where my phone at.
Do it for the. Do it for the. Do it. Do it for the. Do it for the. Yeah. Do it for the. Do it for the. Do it for the. Do it for the. She about to buzz it for the Yeti. She about to buzz it for the Yeti. It's time. She about to buzz it for the Yeti. It's time. She about to buzz it for the Yeti. Do it for the. Do it for the. Do it for the Yeti. Oh God. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. Oh God. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. Oh yeah. Do it for the Yeti. Do it for the Yeti. Oh God. She gon' buzz it for the Yeti. She gon' do it for the Yeti. Hold up. Do it for the skinny girl. Do it for the. Do it for the skinny girl. Do it for the. Do it for the. Do it for the skinny girl. Do it for the. Do it for the. Do it for the skinny girl. Do it for the skinny girl. She about to buzz it for the Yeti. Hold on, now they pulling out they sellers. When the beat drop, are you ready? Are you ready? Now they throwing dollars like confetti. Oh my God. Try to get the party live. She stick her tongue, God, then she roll her eyes. Try to get the trend and then she do it right. She a celebrity in the city, right? Pit booty girl, you can start that flow. Bust it for the Yeti, 300 like smoke. Anonymous cannabis with the choice of the roll. Post smash on the Yeti, but the boy don't know. Do it for the Yeti, do it for the Yeti. Oh God, do it for the Yeti, do it for the Yeti. Oh God, do it for the Yeti, do
break every trial. Now we stand heads held high underneath the brightest sky. It's our anniversary, light up the night, raise up the banners, we earned this right. Through the sweat, through the grind, we left no dream behind. Now we shine in the Hall of Fame. Nothing around here will ever be the same. They said it impossible, we proved them wrong. Turned up the volume, wrote our own song. Every late night, every long day, led us right to this golden stage. Every tear, every might, lit the fire, sparked the light. Now we stand, hearts ablaze, this is history, we're here to stay. It's our anniversary, light up the night, raise up the banners, we earned this right. Through the sweat, through the grind, we left no dream behind. Now we shine in the Hall of Fame. Nothing around here will ever be the same. For the dreamers, the fighters, the ones who believe, for the battles, the lessons, the marks that we leave. This is a moment, this is our time, a legacy rising forever and tried. It's our anniversary, light up the night, raise up the banners, we earned this right. Through the sweat, through the grind, we left no dream behind. Now we shine in the Hall of Fame. Nothing around here will ever be the same. Years in the making, now here we stand. A Hall of Fame story, written by hand. We said anniversary, light up the night, raise up the banners, we earned this right. Through the sweat, through the grind, we left no dream behind. Now we shine in the Hall of Fame. Stronger, louder, we own the game. Years in the making, now here we stand. A Hall of Fame story, written by hand.
That's right. Radiversary comes to you live next week, live May 18th from the Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. And of course, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony will be held at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame starting on Saturday. So it's going to be a happening. 12 years of RAWFL vacant will be in the books once Madiversary comes around next week.
Yep, that's a long time. You guys are old. I mean, yes, going to be a great anniversary, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
All right. Well, let's kick the night off. Well, we've kicked the night off already, but let's
I was going to
start.
say, we're a little late to be kicking it off. It's been an hour.
Our first guest in the evening we have not heard from since Immortal, so we've got a lot to discuss with him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our reigning RAWF World Heavyweight Champion. He is Big Purple, the P to the O to the G.
Once upon a time, an abomination. He walked on water and he conquered nations. Could have ruled forever, but he lost his patience. Look at me now, paragon of greatness. First of the fallen and last of the old gods. No use fighting because you can't beat those cold odds. Beginning of time and the end of days. Civilizations crumble under his gaze. Alpha and Omega, the wrath of the God King. Paragon of greatness, about to pin you in that ring. Once upon a time, an abomination. He walked on water and he conquered nations. Could have ruled forever, but he lost his patience. Look at me now, paragon of greatness. Eons ago, before time existed, they lived in the heavens and the rain persisted.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Paragon of Greatness. Paragon, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Amadeus, and I gotta apologize right up top. Whoa, I feel like given how long it's been since I've been here and all the things that are going on, this might be one of those classic Paragon goes on for a really long time situations.
Well, yeah, and we were prepared for that.
Everybody chimichanga.
All right. First of all, let's go back in time to Immortal 12 and talk about the fact that you indeed retained the World Heavyweight Championship against Killer Neptune. And talk to me about that match and talk to me about, uh, if there was any aftermath between you two and how Kill is doing after all of that happened to him at Immortal 12.
Well, I'm simultaneously crushed and relieved at the results of that match. I made it abundantly clear. I feel like Killa Neptune's moment is absolutely due. It's something a lot of people have been looking forward to, and it simply wouldn't have been the fairy tale ending that he thought that it was if he beat me. But that doesn't make it sting any less to see the look in my brother's eyes as he once again fails to capture the World Heavyweight Championship and uh, manages to lose both the World Heavyweight Championship and the Platinum Dragon Championship on the same night. Fortunately for Killa Neptune, he has some experience in that. He's done that before, and he bounces back. Killa, it's hard to really tell how he's doing. He's going to be frowning on the inside, but put up that troll mask on the outside. So you never really know. Killa's out there doing his thing. He seems to be continuing to do great things in the ring. He hasn't let it derail him. I know in the past that was something that was synonymous with Killa Neptune, building up a lot of hype, and then when he crashed and burned, he had trouble kind of finding the motivation to get back. That has not been Killa Neptune for a couple of years now, since all of these several Platinum Dragon title reigns have been going on. He's been a completely new wrestler. He seems to be bulletproof. He bounces back every time, and I'm proud of him for that. And I am unbelievably proud of the match that we put together. I think it was an all-time classic. There were definitely a lot of people that maybe weren't excited about that prospect. Some people that kind of have a few things to say about the Opaque Brotherhood, but I can't imagine anybody went home from that main event not happy. It was an incredible match, and
I'm going to say Killer did.
well, okay, maybe Killa Neptune, but it was an incredible match. I'm ecstatic to have been part of it, and I'm proud. I can put my stamp on that and say that was an immortal main event worthy match, and it is something that will be remembered in history, and I am glad to have contributed that to RAWF.
It was definitely a tremendous night as Immortal 12. Congratulations on retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. But now we turn our attention towards Radiversary, one of your favorite nights of the year. As I know, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony is going to happen, and as I'm sure you're well aware, and you are very happy about this entire class, right?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's kind of hard to get an answer that you might believe out of me because I'm always this excited. But wow, I mean, talk about a Hall of Fame class that absolutely covers all of your bases. You've got every type of Hall of Famer in this class, and to see the entire spectrum of what kinds of Hall of Famers can enter a company through GM work, character work, achievements, all of those kinds of things. It's going to be a showcase of variety that we maybe have never seen in a Hall of Fame class, and I absolutely love that.
And now, but of course, you will have a busy night at Radiversary. As we know now, you have three scheduled matches: one title defense, one title challenge, and then a boxing match. We'll get to that in just a minute. Let's start with the Hatfield challenging Chris Cage, your quote unquote bestie, for the Hatfield and McCoy Championship. Talk to me about that.
Well, my biggest concern about that match is that I wonder if we're both going to just be exhausted before the match starts after we hold hands and skip through a flower field beforehand. A little good luck ritual between two best friends. Uh, Chris and I have not just a long history, but we have a long history in these specific circumstances. Earlier, El Vacant was talking about how Chris Cage loves those oddity championships. He grabs a hold of them and does not let go, and even when he does, it's not for very long. We did this dance over the White Lightning Championship for a very long time. It seemed like every month it's Chris Cage versus Paragon of Greatness. I was challenging him to take Sparky from him. It took a lot of challenges, but I was the man that removed Sparky from Chris Cage. The Hatfield McCoy Championship, it's not quite the same level as White Lightning as far as how much he cares about that championship, but Chris has a very solid amount of run with this championship, has a firm connection to it, and here comes Big Purple knocking for the belt again. We'll see if history repeats itself or not.
All right. But what we missed was talk about this boxing match with Soul Reaper, where basically there'll be no wrestling. It'll just be punching, basic for the most part, using your fists to do damage. What are your thoughts on facing Soul Reaper?
Before I explain my thoughts on Soul Reaper, I want to give you a little bit of a diversion here. I want to do a classic Paragon here, give you a little bit of a mythology lesson. Allow me to tell you the tale. You see, Zeus would often find himself coming down to earth and testing men's hospitality. As a great deity, he was often feared and respected, and as a result, he was always welcomed with all respect everywhere that he went. However, on one occasion, he wondered, would he be welcomed if he did not appear as himself? Together with his son Hermes, Zeus came to Earth dressed as a wanderer. He went into the region of Phrygia. He asked for somebody to take them in, feed him, perhaps just allow him a drink or a rest from the harsh sun, and he found no such luck. Until they arrived at a small, crumbling shack, barely standing. It was the home of a couple by the name of Bicus and Philemon. Noticing their dejection, rejection, and exhaustion, Bicus and Philemon welcomed them into their homes. Let Zeus and Hermes, dressed as these wanderers, take refuge from the harshness of the outside, from the hunger, from the exhaustion. And as Bicus offered the last of their beverages, he explained that it may not be much, but it's all that they can offer. And at that moment, with a snap of his fingers, Zeus refilled the refreshment container belonging to Bicus, and suddenly it was clear who these wanderers were. Having shared in their hospitality, Zeus invited this couple to follow him up a hill. He asked them if there was anything in the entire world that they would request, and Bicus and Philemon didn't have to think about it. They immediately knew the answer. All they wanted was to remain together for all of their days, and Zeus promised this to them. And then he summoned a huge storm, flooding the entire city and punishing the people in that city for their selfishness and greed. In its place, Zeus raised a beautiful marble temple filled with more than the couple could ever ask for, and he promised them, in this temple, they would be together for the remainder of their days. And if you're wondering what the meaning of this is, why this is relevant, here's why. Whether you have the means at your disposal, or if you're at the bottom of your coffers, simple hospitality, it means everything. Be there for one another, give what you can, and take care of those who truly need it. Don't ask for what's beyond your means, and don't take from those that cannot be taken from, but if you are in need, or if you know somebody in need, do what is in your power to make things right. And that's what I intend to do. I am fortunate. I am had a long and successful career here in RAWF, and I have means beyond what I will ever need, and it's time for me to, give back in some ways. I think that there are a lot of people that are very hungry for the spotlight here in RAWF, that are desperate for those highlight moments, and a big pay-per-view spotlight to really show the world what they can do. So Soul Reaper challenged me to a match.
I'm going to cut you off there, Paragon. That's exactly what I plan on doing.
All right, here we
Excuse
go.
me? Okay, first of all, I didn't ask you to come on. You don't do that.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Let him go. Let's hear this.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just getting a little bored listening to that, whatever that rambling Paragon was just doing.
Well,
and I
go
plan
ahead.
on showing you
exactly
what I'm capable of.
Hey, this is your moment. You've got the spotlight. You want to have the attention that you wanted. Wow us, entertain us with something. Then this is it. You're one-on-one with the world champ right now. Come on. This is a career-defining moment for you, Soul Reaper. All right, fine. Listen, I'll make this easier for you. You clearly you're bored by the nice guy routine, so I'll get a little bit more aggressive with you, and I'll get a little bit more real with you.
Bring it, fat boy.
Somebody like Ken Costa at Immortal was grateful for the opportunity, and it's clear that you are not. You're pushing me around. You're trying to provoke fights. I've never done anything to you except a challenge. So
don't even bring up that Brandon Lee knockoff.
Look, I'm in the big leagues and I'm swinging for the fence. You need to understand that your little jabs and your insults, they're all kiddie games. You don't leave a mark on the champ's face. Come Radiversary, understand that when you step into the ring, your arms are just too short to box with God.
Okay, and that's supposed to scare me, right?
No, my fist entering your orbital socket is supposed to scare you.
Yeah, that doesn't scare me. Now, Griff, you scare me. Paragon, I'm not too sure about you.
Look, Soul Reaper, you can do your whole "I'm too cool for school, I like to no-sell everything" attitude. It's really impressive until you step into the ring and you see that you've won about 3 matches. You're an embarrassment to yourself, and you have to prove something at Radiversary. I have to prove nothing to nobody. I am the world heavyweight champion. You understand that this match is a favor being granted to you. So how about you act like it and be grateful?
All right.
All right. Well, I mean, the man doesn't have a rebuttal.
There you go. Thank you for joining us, Reaper.
Wow. Look, I apologize to everybody. I did not mean to get aggressive with him. However, I maintain exactly what I was saying. It's all about hospitality. It's about giving people opportunities. I'll tell you right now, Soul Reaper, it was very disrespectful. He stepped into a place maybe he didn't have any business doing, but you've got to love that confidence, and you've got to love the fire behind that. The man genuinely believes he's going to walk into Radiversary and take down the world champion. And I mean, if you were in this business for one day or 100 years, if you don't think that you can beat the best, then you have no business here. And Soul Reaper just proved that he does have business here, whether it was smart or not.
At any rate, let's talk about the main event at Radiversary.
Oh yes, sir.
Let's not waste any more time on this match. Let's talk about the main
Let's
event
talk about
defending.
the baby. Let's talk about you. What? No, my bad.
No. Paragon, you will have to defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Eva at Radiversary next week. And I can already tell.
That's what I said.
Right? Okay.
She's walking sex, man. I mean, come on, touch stuff.
Paragon?
Like I was saying, this boxing match coming up, and this match with Chris Cage, those are excellent matches, aren't they? How are we doing?
Oh, hey, look who showed up.
Hey, look who's out in the chat.
Nope.
You got to talk about it, Paragon, and you can't.
Look, if you don't look, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Look,
here.
every therapist on the planet tells you the first step is admitting you have a problem, and the second step is talking about it.
Okay. Let me.
The giant scary vulture lady is not going to come. Well, actually, she is coming for you.
Yep, you're gonna get me in trouble here. I do not want the smoke with this lady. Okay. Let me recompose myself. Eva is absolutely beyond the terrifying exterior. She is an incredibly talented wrestler. She's pretty consistently up there in those rankings, and she's pulling off victories that I think a lot of people usually do not give her credit for. Let's not mistake the fact that she just beat Blake Bradley in a contendership match for this. That is absolutely no joke. Clearly, she makes me very nervous. I'm trying to choose my words carefully. The influences that she's had in her career, the friends that she's made, people like Cy and Maeve O'Hare, are prime examples of the kind of role models that you would want as a wrestler, and to learn from that kind of violence and cunning, kind of explains who Eva is, and that's in a way kind of that's my problem going into this match. Sure, she creeps me out. Sure, I play it up a little bit for laughs, but I understand that she's a very real competitor, a very real challenge. But my problem is she is not the kind of competitor that I am particularly inclined to fight. I'm a very strategic wrestler as far as the amateur and mat-based work goes. I'm not very great with the carnival sideshow mind games kind of wrestlers, and I think that history kind of speaks to that. It's not so much that the mind games get to me, it's that I don't know how to analyze a strategy against somebody that there is no way to strategize against. It's kind of like when I was fighting Judgment all the time. How do you strategize against somebody who's just so scattershot and all over the place? It's mind-boggling. That being said, this is her first opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship, and when the bright lights are on and the pressure is there, people tend to crumble. And I don't think that bright lights are going to be real kind to a vampire, do you?
I mean, I don't see. It's never been a problem for her before.
Look, there's a difference. There's a difference between what she's done before and what she's doing here.
I think he's implying that he is the sun, and Eva, she is the east. I don't know.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Al Vacant, I swear.
Al Vacant, how dare you?
What?
I don't know.
He was saying that the light would be brighter, and she's a vampire. Well, the lights they have a problem with are the sun, so he's implying he's the sun.
Look, she's had a lot of big time matches. I believe she's been at least the national champion, maybe the platinum champion, but the world heavyweight championship is something completely different. It's been a very long time since we've seen a first time world heavyweight champion, and hell, Eva may be that person. But right now, at this point in time, I don't see it for her, but I also don't want to piss her off.
Okay. But you do have to admit, this is going to be the most probably the most interesting challenge of your career.
Look, after the match that I had with Killa Neptune, a deeply emotional and personal match, and then to go into something like this, I mean, you're killing me, Smalls. This is, I'm trying to go out here and represent RAWF, do all the wrestle things as you will, or if you're Kalisto, doing all the lucha things. But I'm having to struggle with the mentality side here a lot more than I thought. But you're absolutely right. It's an incredibly interesting challenge. I hope that she brings everything. Except for maybe the fishnets, because I don't care for them.
That's blasphemous. That's blasphemous.
That's just, no, you're done. Cut his mic.
See, I knew I'd get a reaction out of you guys. Listen, she can bring the fishnets. She can bring the fish man if she wants to. I don't care. Eva,
you heard you heard him. You heard him, Killa. You're in her corner now.
Eva, at Radiversary, I wish you nothing but luck. But at the end of the day, you're going to do the same thing that Killa Neptune did. You're going to put on an excellent performance, but it's not your time yet.
All right. We will find out at Radiversary if it is indeed Eva's time, or if the Paragon of Greatness continues on this incredible run he's had as World Heavyweight Champion. Paragon, I think I better let you go. It's kind of been a rough night here.
You're going to give me a heart attack, man.
Well, you knew it was coming. It's not like you didn't know what I was going to ask you about this match.
But I thought that maybe I could just play it off and talk some more about boxing.
Yeah, no.
All right. No.
Somebody already spoiled that one. But at any rate,
it's going to be a hell of a show, and I'm very excited for it. As Hall of Fame, great new challenger. Get to see my bestie. Get to have a unique type of match that I've never done here in RAWF across the board. Radiversary is going to be a night to remember.
All right, El Vacant, any last questions for the Paragon of Greatness?
No, I think I'm good. I tormented him enough.
All right, good enough. Paragon, thank you for your time, and we will see you next week for Hall of Fame weekend.
Arise, fair son, and kill the envious moon.
All right, well, thanks, LA. It's been wonderful. El Vacant, you were also there.
I mean, that's fair. It's not like I'm a Hall of Famer. I mean, I'm just some guy.
Next up, we talked to another RAWF Hall of Famer. She was my co-host last week, and always a pleasure to be talking with the one and only.
In the town where the shadows breathe, there's a name you won't ever speak. Molly Malone, she walked alone. Her footsteps echo cold as stone. They said she cursed the midnight air with a heart too broken to repair. A wrong soul left in the dust. Now they whisper that's what she gets for trust. She was the ghost they couldn't save. A restless heart, a silent grave. Every word was a fleeting dream. Every prayer a twisted scream.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the first class lass, the lovely Maeve O'Hare. Good evening, Maeve.
Good evening, Bossman. Good evening, Vacant.
Oh, hi.
So, Maeve, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm keeping well, and yourself?
I'm doing spectacular. I'm glad you're here, though. Hall of Fame coming up. got a great class going in. Who are you looking forward to the most?
Oh, that's hard to say. Like there's several folks that I don't know so well, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about them. Folks like Shell Kneebreaker, who I never got to meet. But I think from a personal standpoint, the one I'll be paying the most attention to is Chaz, because I know him the best. And so I think it'll have the most impact on me as far as my personal involvement in his career and knowing how far he's come and all of that. So I suppose Chaz, if I had to put my finger on one.
Fair enough. Talk to me about the Triple Crown title match last week, and you came very close to winning the title. And it could have been you facing Deez and Ken Costa.
Well, it could have been if someone weren't too shite scared to let Enigma fight their own battles.
Oh, well, now, do you want to elaborate on that, or should we just let that?
I'll be happy to elaborate that on that for as long as you'll let me rant about it. If you go back and you look at that match, I were about to win, and then somebody whose name begins with a C and ends with a bell decided to come in and give Enigma a little encouragement, because she knew that if I won that match, I was going to win her belt. So she can sit here and talk about elevating the Triple Crown all she wants, and I'm not going to fault her for being smart, because it's exactly what she should have done in that situation. But I don't want to hear anything about how she single-handedly won this or how she's amazing because she's the champion still. Because the only thing that saved her belt was her... I'm not even sure what she said to Enigma. I don't want to know. It's none of my business. But that very easily could have gone a different way, and she knows it. And I hope that Enigma enjoys that win for all the good that does them.
Well, I mean, on one hand, I can understand you being upset. On the other hand, it was good strategy. I mean,
no, again, it were very smart, but in this industry, especially, doing the smart thing is often synonymous with doing the cowardly or mean thing. But again, if she and Enigma are happy with that outcome, then I love that for them. It took two of them to beat me. So what does that tell you about our champion? Because I will point out that she did not pin me in our match.
That's true. Very true. But at any rate, it's all that's all in the past. We have Radiversary look forward to, and I don't. While you are not scheduled Randy has not made the card up for Radiversary. Is there anybody you might want to face at Radiversary, considering it's Hall of Fame weekend?
I mean, I'm always happy to do my part. I will go ahead and put it out there, since somebody has so much to say. I hope that you enjoyed our match, Seabell, because it is the last one I will ever have with you, unless I am specifically booked against you.
Well, now.
But as for Radiversary, I am looking forward to it. The fun of Radiversary makes up for the inconvenience of having to be in Cleveland. But
hey! Whoa! What?
Have you not seen the city?
I'm from the city.
No. You're from Fubar City.
That's Cleveland. You know this. We all know this.
Well,
Fubar City, Cleveland.
Congratulations on being the one product to come out of that city that's worthwhile.
I didn't know you had an issue with my hometown.
They keep setting the river on fire. I'm concerned by your hometown.
It's beautiful when they do that. It is. What other city in the world can you say has a river of fire in it?
I believe the Underworld's supposed to have one of them.
Exactly. Wait, no,
And
not that.
Philadelphia did, but it's been like that was in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, but at any rate, no. You haven't. What parts of Cleveland's a beautiful town. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you around Cleveland personally this weekend.
I'm not sure if that's an offer or a threat.
Hey, now, hey, you and your family were so hospitable to me when we were in your hometown a couple months ago.
Does this mean that I'm going to meet Ma and Pa Amadeus?
Well, no, that's probably not the best idea, to be honest. But
well, there's a story there that I want to hear. But no, you're right. You're right. To be fair, I did give you the nickel tour of my own hometown, so it's only fair that I give your hometown a shot with you playing tour guide. I will keep an open mind.
Yeah,
I will be happy to have the tour of Cleveland from Lord Amadeus himself.
There you go. All right, awesome. We will do that. We will do that next weekend. Probably early, probably on Friday or something like that. Probably won't do it because we got a lot of stuff going on Saturday and Sunday.
We got kind of a full weekend.
We do. We absolutely do.
Well, some of us more than others because some of us have to do like half a dozen speeches.
Yeah. Don't remind me. But yeah, that's exactly true. At any rate, Maeve, was there anything in particular other than what we have talked about that you want to talk about?
We talked about. I suppose I could put in my my weekly wheedle of when am I going to get my shot at the Superstars title, just to nag you.
Wait, that's going to be a thing now? Because you only did that last week.
Well, I got to establish a pattern somewhere.
Well, I suppose that's true.
2 is a pattern.
2 points do make a line.
They do. Go
on.
I mean, yeah, that's just true. All right, I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on it.
If you say so, Bossman. Let's see. So we've talked about that. I talked about Radiversary. Talked about Hall of Fame. Keep your eyes open. I know that for various reasons that I won't get into here, this is the way I got sidetracked. So I'm going to be doing one wrap-up event, winner takes all, and that should be up, if not tonight, then tomorrow.
All right, appreciate that. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you if you had a report on that.
I did not. That's where my report right there, where that I'm working on getting a wrap-up event, and then prizes will go out accordingly after that's over. And let's see, is there anything else? Well, I'll tell you what, Bossman, since I were unfairly hostile to your hometown, what is your favorite thing about Cleveland? Other than Radiversary. You can't say that. That's cheating.
No, just the whole entire atmosphere of the town. It's a hard-working town.
I do appreciate hard work.
No, it's got an atmosphere that I have always enjoyed. Cleveland is a proud town.
I can't fault it for that. So I'm very excited to see it from your perspective.
There you go. All right, I look forward to it. With that being said, Maeve, thank you for joining us this evening, and once again, thank you for co-hosting while this bum was off. Did you hear why he didn't show up last week? Did you hear his excuse?
No, I didn't hear his excuse. I got here late.
El Vacant.
No self-respecting Mexican goes to Cincinnati.
What did Cincinnati do to Mexico?
An abomination they do with chili.
Oh, the chili. I mean, to be fair. Is chili really a Mexican dish?
Yes. That is where it started. Chili con carne, chili con queso. It's in Spanish for a reason.
I mean, they speak Spanish in places other than Mexico.
It is from Mexico.
Okay, I didn't know. Today I learned.
And now, what most Americans think of as chili is actually more really got its start in Texas, where it changed a little bit. It became more meaty. But look, I could go on for hours about the history of chili.
I mean, I do enjoy a good bowl of chili. I have come to appreciate that while I've been living in the States, because that's not something we have back home.
I believe that. There are no potatoes in chili.
I mean, we do have dishes that don't have potatoes in them, but that's neither here nor there.
Not good ones.
I can't even look at him. I'm leaving. I'm gone. Yeah. Good night. Good night, boss man.
Good night.
I knew that was going to get her because I know how much she loves potatoes. So like trying to like how do I defend this without insulting potatoes?
All right, that was the lovely Maeve O'Hare. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have for you the reigning Fubar City champion. There it is. No, is that it? Give me a second. I do need to somehow find. I wish they would find a way. There we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome.
Yoo-hoo! I'll make you famous. The shadow of the moonlight, a figure stands alone, a warrior born. Through the ages, through the pain, his name etched in blood, forever torn. The Lion of London, he roars in the night. No mercy, no weakness, no end in sight. Inevitable rise, the tempest unleashed. All shall fall when the Kraken's released. Through fire and blood, his hands are stained. He stands alone, with none to restrain. Unstoppable force, a wrath untamed. No kingdom of God can withstand his name. Griffins are beyond, the immortal one. Eternal champion, his war's never done. Hunter of monsters, a faction of one. In a world that's broken, he stands with none. Tempest rages, his head held high. An immortal legend that will never die. Through centuries of violence, his name never fades. He fights through the ages, his will never sways.
I am immortal.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the immortal Griffith. Good evening, Griffith.
Good evening, Lord Amadeus.
It has definitely been an evening. There's no doubt about that. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I mean, now that I'm no longer babysitting the green room, pretty well.
Getting pretty chaotic out there, is it?
It was in the beginning. It settled down once I made it clear that enough was enough.
Yeah. At any rate, so, Griffith, we know that you will be challenged by Kara B. DeVille for that Fubar City Championship at Radiversary. And I think Elvakin and I both agree that you are the definitive favorite in this match. What are your
favorite in all my matches? But
what are your thoughts on Kara?
I mean, I think Vacan here said it pretty accurately earlier. Anyone who's managed to get themselves in position for a title shot in the RAWF needs to be taken somewhat seriously. Like they won the chance to get a shot at that belt. So it's not just some random fluke thing. It means they had to have done fairly well all season and then win a match to get the belt or the title shot, I should say. I don't know Kara very well. I mean, I've seen some of her work. Yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't seen a lot of their work when there are no rules. And I feel like I say this a lot, but I feel like it never quite digs its way home, right? It doesn't really stick for people that of all the titles that I have held, all the titles that I am eligible for, all the titles that I may have or will someday hold in this company, the one that honestly makes the most sense for the overarching theme of my career is this one. Because I made my name in this industry in hardcore matches. I made it clear that there was no one in this industry that could do more damage and take more damage than the Immortal One. And when it comes to defending this belt, there is nothing I won't do to my opponent. No rules means no sympathy. And don't expect a mercy from the Immortal One. Remember, I'm the one that calls his finisher move the Memento Mori. I'm here to remind you that you're mortal.
All right. So, coming up on the 12-year anniversary next week of RAWF, you've had a lot of great moments in this company. Talk to me about what your favorite moments are.
That first time I won the RAWF World Championship, that will always have a place in my heart. It started. Well, I shouldn't say it started my path here because I'd had other belts before, but it definitely told everyone I'm here and it's real. Oddly, one of my favorite things I ever did was that first Superstars run I did. At the first time I had that championship, because I kept it for quite some time, and I believe that's the one that set my record. It might have been the second time I set the record, but because it made people pay attention. Because when I won that belt, people didn't know who I was. I was just some flash in the pan, new guy to the company. Oh, look at this guy mouthing off. And then I backed it up week after week after week. And it made everyone that was at the top of this company take notice. Made their ears perk up because you kept bringing my name up every show. So, winning that belt, that title run, first winning the belt and then that title run is also one of my favorite accomplishments in this company.
And yeah, I suppose, and let's see, you had an 140-day run back in 2016, 15 successful title defenses, and then you followed that up later that year with 161 days and 16 title defenses.
Yeah.
Was slightly longer. So yeah. But you have not held it since then, have you? Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Shot at that title.
No, you did. You did hold it for 112 days in 2020.
Well, I mean, I believe I've had it 3 or 4 times, but I haven't had a shot at that belt in years.
Interesting.
Well, because I always have a title.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm not eligible. I'm not eligible right now.
This is true. You're not. But at any rate, so yeah, those are two good memories. Two definitely good memories, and you have had one of the top 3 careers in RAWF history, possibly number 1, considering the world.
I am the franchise. Let's just say it. Just acknowledge it.
You know, you've got 10 times world heavyweight champion. I mean, that in itself, that's something else right there.
Kind of impressive, if I say so myself. Which I do all the time.
Nobody is even close. The most anyone else has ever held the title is 4 times, and that'd be Mordrin, Nightwalker, and Paragon. So,
look, I use this phrase a lot, and people think it's just me being braggadocious, and maybe it is. But, I say it a lot, that I am the single most decorated champion in the history of this company. But the numbers don't lie. I am. I have the most title reigns in the history of this company. Period. I've done the math.
I'm sure you have. However, there is a little bad news.
Oh, really?
Well, we would be remiss to mention that you got eliminated in the Zanthur tournament again.
Look, I got eliminated in the exact same round I get eliminated every year.
Not by the same person, though.
At least for once, it wasn't by Sassy, right?
Well, I know I know a little Irish lass out in the green room that's kind of glad you didn't win, just because. Well,
Would
she
I have
would
been
have.
her next in line?
Yes, yes. Although the person that beat you is also not a pushover, but mean creature. But at any rate,
And I
but
keep
that.
telling her it's not vanity when it's true.
Mm, at any rate, any final thoughts, Griff, before we move on, sir?
Yeah, actually, I need to have a conversation with El Mexicano over here. He's stepping on my shtick by quoting Shakespeare. Like, what are you doing? That's my gimmick. I'm pretty sure you do not have ownership of Shakespeare, my friend. Well, I mean, no, he's in the public domain, but like, I'm just saying, it's the Tempest. I have a thing. Like, never mind.
At any rate. All right, Griff, thank you very much for your time tonight. Appreciate it. And, sir, we will talk to you again next week.
Yes, well, yes, yeah, you will. Yeah.
Something wrong? What's wrong?
No, nothing.
Okay.
May have said something personally amusing. Don't
Okay.
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's a stupid thing. Try that again.
Try again.
All right. There we go. Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen. Weekend is next weekend, and I'm looking very much forward to it. We will have all kinds of things going on. And El Vacant, what do you? Any thoughts we haven't thought to talk about before we call it a night? Anything you? This is your time to say whatever the hell you want. Well, okay, maybe not whatever.
Maybe not whatever I want. It's a family show. No, I think this is going to be a really good weekend coming up. We've got next weekend, and there's a lot going on. Radiversary is always a huge week for us. I'm very excited about this class going in. Even if I'm not in it. I'm just saying, everyone's talking about how well-rounded the class is. There's no announcer. Just saying. But I digress. I'm really interested in this main event. I'll be honest. I mean, they're always bangers. We always have pretty amazing main events. But I'm really interested in this one because it's something new.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
We've never. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe we've ever seen Eva go for this title before.
Never. This is her first opportunity.
And I will say there's an interesting history in the RAWF. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but my memory is telling me that the last several first-time RAWF champions won it on their first attempt to get it.
I believe you're correct on that. Let's see. Let's talk. Chris Cage, I believe that was it when he won it. It was his first opportunity.
Correct. Strangleheart won it on his first attempt.
Nightcrawler won it on his first attempt.
Deez
I don't know.
On his. Oh wait, no, that might have been Deez's second attempt.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah, that one's hard to tell.
Yeah, because he's been around a long time.
But you're right. I mean, this is Eva's first attempt at going at it, and yeah, who knows? Who knows what happens?
Because that first attempt is it's that first time under that big spotlight, and there's a lot of pressure. But it's also the champion doesn't have a lot to go on because they can't go and watch the last time they had this big of a match. They can't go there's no footage. There's nothing for them to study. They don't know what they're gonna get.
Yeah, this is true, and this is the first time that we've seen Paragon rattled by an opponent in a World Heavyweight Championship match, and he's obviously a little rattled by Eva.
Oh, and she creeps him the fuck out. Like that's like she. I mean, she's a little creepy, but in my opinion, in kind of a hot way. But that's me.
Right.
Look, fishnets. Just
I mean, yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I really am. But at any rate, I thought I would end the night, and while Radiversary is next week, it's going to be a busy weekend, and usually on a pay-per-view weekend like that, I would preview the following pay-per-view, which of course for after Radiversary comes Philadelphia Freedom. But I'm thinking maybe I should do it now. What do you think?
sure, why not?
A little sneak peek at our annual patriotic pay-per-view Philadelphia Freedom coming up right now as soon as it loads.
Someday
My song will come.
kinky.
Here we go.
Lights flash, the fire ignites. We rise as warriors in the night. Steel hearts, unbreakable pride, marching on with freedom as our guide. Hear the roar of 1,000 strong. This is where the brave belong. The flag waves high above the fame. Every soul remembers the name. We stand for freedom, fight for the flame. In the land of glory, we carve our name. No chains, no fear, just blood and might. We were born to battle, born to fight. We stand for freedom, the bold and true. This is our moment, red, white, and blue. One ring, one chance, no retreat. History's written in every heartbeat. Legends rise, the weak fall back. We carry the dream on a thunderous track. Unbreakable will, unshaken ground. Our voices shake the heavens down. With every slam, with every cry, we shout our truth into the sky. We stand for freedom, fight for the flame. In the land of glory, we carve our name. No chains, no fear, just blood and might. We were born to battle, born to fight. We stand for freedom, the bold and true. This is our moment, red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Raise your fist, the time is now. Take the oath, make the vow. For the fallen, for the free, for every soul who dares to believe. We stand for freedom, not for that day. Heroes made in battleground. No chains, no fear, just blood and might. We were born to battle, born to fight. We stand for freedom, proud and loud. We fight for justice, heads unbowed. Yeah, we stand for freedom. We stand for freedom.
That's right, coming to you live from the City of Brotherly Love on July 6th. Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia Freedom, ladies and gentlemen. And the oldest pay-per-view in RAWF history, I do believe. Or, yeah, the longest running at any rate. But yeah, El Vacant, quit staring at the picture.
What?
Quit staring at the picture. You know you're gonna upset somebody if you keep staring at that picture.
Who am I going to upset? Well, I'll probably upset somebody.
You know exactly who.
What you talking about? Innocent. Something. Sure.
That picture right there.
Oh boy. Look, I see that every time I go into the taco trucks now.
Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to call it a night. Unless you had anything else you wanted to discuss tonight, El Vacant?
No, I think good.
All right. I'm going to go get you some Skyline because there are a couple Skylines here in Columbus. I'm taking you out to Sky. I'm buying you dinner.
No.
I'm buying you dinner just one time.
Why
It's
don't
free.
you like me?
Anything free is it good, right? Free is great in this economy.
That's fair.
There you go. All right, folks, we're out tonight. I'm going to take El Vacant out the skyline, and we will see you all next week. It is going to be a huge Hall of Fame weekend here in RAWF. Good night, everybody.
Oh, yeah.